Oh, you are in the right place. You are listening to the Love Gurus podcast. We're going to take ridiculous dating questions from the wild animals on Reddit and from you guys in the chat. Starting right now. Yes, that's us.
Oh.
Yup, we will. Goddamn right. That's right. And not in a fun kind of way. Oh, you heard the man. This is the Love Gurus podcast. We are taking ridiculous dating questions from Reddit and from you guys in the chat. So give us your comments, give us your questions. We're live every single Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So if you're listening on an audio-only platform, we still love you. But we'd love you more if you watched on YouTube and liked and subscribed and gave us your comments. Smash that like and subscribe button. That's what it looks like right down there. Bam.
Whoa.
Super excited about our guest today. First up, Suzanne, how was your week?
Well, it's great, and I just recently learned that I had the opportunity to pass what little knowledge I was given with from my childhood on to other people, and it's knowledge of the word guff. Guff is to use guff, it's spelled G-U-F-F, to use it in a sentence. Don't give me guff, little woman. You know, it's always sort of tagged with like a misogynistic comment at the end.
I was going to say, not to mansplain misogynistic comments, but it's way meaner when you say, "Don't give me guff, big woman." Oh, they hate that. Oh, they fucking hate that.
Yeah.
But let's introduce our two guests, man. We have two awesome guests today. First up, he's a returning guest, a hilarious stand-up comic, the one, the only, Natan Badalov. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Tell them where they can find you.
Right here.
You can find him right here.
You're moving in?
That's right. He's not AI. He's
all of a
real.
sudden, there's a
He's
knock
here.
on the door. I heard Natan was here. Yes.
You're like, thanks for doing the pod. He's like, yeah, I'm not going anywhere, man. I'm gonna be right here.
I'm always here.
Since you guys are live streaming, I didn't want to embarrass you by walking out in the middle. If this was an audio-only podcast, I would have just left. And
That's right. That's
no,
right.
but do you have like a
social? Social media. It's just my name. Natan Badalov. Natan Badalov.
Nice.
Everything.
Find him. Find me.
It's
Natan, not Nathan. That's a different guy, and he sucks.
You know,
Nathan blows, dude.
Nathan Badalov?
Yeah.
There was a guy
Bad
in my
guy.
high school that had the same name as me.
Oh, really?
exact same.
Wow.
Nathaniel Badalov.
Nathaniel
and then
Badalov.
I asked someone that we went to high school with, and he's like, yo, we're going to hang out. He's like, yo, I thought you were going to be the other guy. And like, no, but he said, I go, what do you think about the other guy? He's like, he's a fucking asshole.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
Because he's talking to you.
Hell
yeah.
But
yeah.
He
That's
changes
right.
his story to the other guy.
Also,
the one with the H in his first name is a real fucking tool.
Yeah. If you hear this.
Yeah.
But I do also like when you spell out your name, it sounds like a Cyndi Lauper song.
Really?
Natambalov.
Yeah.
Ooh,
That is a damn good one.
Like I don't.
Palindrome.
It's one of the B-sides.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
N-A-T-A-N. Backwards and forwards, same thing.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Well, you have just let everyone know that Natan's clearly in the Illuminati.
Hell yeah.
I'm slow learning as fuck, so that just blew my mind right now, dude.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It's like
But-
race car.
Are you?
Yeah.
Do you have like a sick tattoo on your back of your anagram name?
I should now.
You should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should be on a tramp stamp.
Yeah, and like
Yes.
it's like made out of.
That's good with a thong.
It's made out of like bats or like
What?
mice.
What's made out of?
It's like the anagram is written out with bats, but then they spell out your name.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That would be. That's a
Either
good
that
idea.
or I don't know. Beavers would be cool too if you
Beavers.
want.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
sexy.
The little
That's
tails.
There
sexy.
you go.
Yeah, just
Little
the
beaver
tails.
Little beaver
It'll
tails.
just be these round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. If there's any tattoo artists out there, look them up.
Give me some
Yeah.
beaver shit.
And also look up our second guest, man. He is a first-time guest to this show, another hilarious comic. The one, the only, Andrew Schiavone. Thank you for being on the
Thank
show.
you, everybody. Thank you for having me in your life. And I didn't go to school with the same person with the same name as me, but I went to school with a guy who looked like me.
Really?
That's
Ooh.
weird.
Whenever somebody told him
Yeah.
he looked like me, he would get mad. So I'm like, but you look like me. I don't know what.
It's
He's insulting us both.
yeah.
That's
It's,
weird.
wow.
Did people? Did he look enough like you that people ever like legit mixed you up?
Yeah, sometimes they'd be like, his name is Mike. They'd be like, hey, Mike. I'm like, oh, I'm Andrew. And they'd be like, oh.
Dude,
It's well, I will say I went at my college. There was a guy that was my lab partner that was a twin, and I didn't know he was a twin. And
that's a fun
so
game.
I was walking in campus the other day. I don't even remember his name. Let's just say his name is Matt. And I was like, Matt! And he ignored me. And I'm like, what a dick. Like, because I literally sat next to this guy for like an hour and a half, like twice a week. And I was like, Matt! And so then the guy, he looks at me and goes, like this. And then so when I saw him in our lab class like the next day, I was like, what the fuck? Why didn't he wave to me? He goes, I have a twin brother. I was like, no way!
Well, the twin brother could have just said, hey, I'm a twin.
So that's what
like, it can't be the first time it's happened.
No.
He was legit being a dick. He's the evil twin. He's the fucking dick twin.
Again, the twin did eventually. Yeah, the twin did eventually wave back to me. But he said that happens, especially because they obviously went to the same college.
Yeah.
All the time, people would come up and be like, "Hi, how are you?" And especially if it was at a distance, they would just play it off. But what was more interesting about these twins is that they were both like bodybuilders. So it's like it's not like one was like the skinny, scrawny one, and they just had the same face. They were both like these like meaty, like cheese curded. Well, that's not a good description for body, but you know what I mean. Like
cheese curded. Yeah. It's that's the ex bodybuilder who like stops working out and that it just all drops. That's rough. See, it's got to be rough being a twin bodybuilder because you can't get out of shape at all.
No.
Yeah.
If he does an extra 20 crunches, you better do an extra 20 crunches because people can tell.
What you will about society putting body shaming women, but no one body shames someone harder than like a bodybuilder twin.
Yeah. You know,
yes. Like that's that's absolute mental torture.
He's like, you could be looking better, and I know.
Yeah.
In the Venn diagram, there's bodybuilders, twins, and then your friends. They're like the only ones in there.
Dude, one time, so my first deployment when I was in the Army, we all shared porn because one guy had like a like a terabyte hard drive that he consolidated all the porn with.
I assume you guys are. I mean, that's just. That's just the what's in the background. The real action's what's going on.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
That's where the surge is in your pants.
Yeah. Yes. I was there during the search. Yes. I had a surge in my pants during the search of 2006.
Hold the front line, man.
And I have beat off in a turret before on a fucking mission. But no, there was a guy.
You got a surge looking at Bush.
Yeah. I mean, it's right there in the fucking name. I couldn't help myself. It was patriotic. But no, there was a guy who was like, dude, I have a porn on my hard drive where the guy looks exactly like you. And you know how most of the time when people say this person kind of looks like you can't really see it? He could have been my fucking twin.
Really?
It was uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable to watch. It made me feel bad for every woman who's been drunk enough to sleep with me.
Oh, wow.
I was like, oh my God, look at that. This should be a crime.
Was he doing well?
I mean,
was it arousing to see yourself?
Fuck no, dude. I mean, I've never been softer even in my sleep.
Oh,
it was
wow.
wild, dude.
But so he wasn't.
That's like the narcissist test.
Yeah, you remember when Jason Bateman or whatever or Christian Bale? I forgot his name in American Psycho.
What?
But
Christian Bale played Patrick Bateman.
Patrick Bateman. Yes. Remember when he's looking in the mirror when he's having sex? Yeah. I do the opposite. I have the opposite thing going on. I cover the mirrors like I'm a fucking vampire before I have sex now, dude.
I break them.
That was traumatizing. I shut all the lights off.
Jake has what they call falcon sex. He covers his eyes, and then he has the sex so that he doesn't freak out and fly out the window.
Well, especially when I was lighter, I had a weird bird-like features, and so and so did this guy, and he was all awkward and herky and jerky about it, and so now I just completely black out all the lights in the windows and every single one. Why are you doing this? I'm like, you don't want to see what's coming.
I got low self-esteem.
Yeah. I've seen what this looks like, and I'm trying to spare you this.
What did that guy do with that porn after he knew he looked like you?
I mean, he probably quit porn because I never saw him in another one. I think he was looking at it afterwards. He was like, Jesus Christ, why did you keep filming this? Why did you keep... And the cameraman was blind, so he was like, they got me on a budget. You know
what else I'm actually like kind of surprised about is the fact that if you're the person who told you about this was a straight male, that he so recognized another straight male
Oh, he was uncomfortable. He was very. It takes a lot to make an infantry guy straight up uncomfortable, But he couldn't make eye contact when he was telling me this.
Damn.
He's like, "It's fucking weird. I have to tell you about this."
Well,
he looks just like you.
That's why you don't make eye contact in the urinal.
That's
Full
right.
Stop.
Yeah.
That's right.
You might run into your favorite porn's doppelganger, and then see. Yeah.
Every time I'd feel the bunk shaking underneath me, I'd be like, "You better not be watching my twin down there." And I would totally cock block. Oh, Joel on YouTube says, "Howdy, y'all. How's it going, Joel?" He says, "Just me and my other personalities." Amy, producer Amy's giving him a shout out there.
Hey,
she's on YouTube as well. Joel says, "Don't let Jake fool you. He looks at pictures of Patrick Bateman while he has sex." Amy looks at her watch.
Yeah.
That's guff.
That's
guff right
yes,
there.
exactly.
Big
Maybe
guff.
looks at her watch.
Yeah.
Fucking guff.
I just got guffed.
But yeah, we've got some great questions this week. The theme for this week is it's what they do, not what they say. Because I think that me personally,
Sure.
I think that we could all. It's my husband will say things to me, and I'm just
Yeah.
but that's not what you're really gonna do.
Right.
Like, that's so cute of you. Just even simple things like, oh, I'll run the dishwasher before we go to bed. I'm bragging we have a dishwasher. That's really the reason why I was saying that. But yeah, again, it's like, sometimes in relationships, again, it's
Humble
people
brag.
say,
Dishwasher.
they say the world. It's so easy, but it's actually what they're doing.
Yeah,
That's what you
I
need
agree.
to pay attention to.
That's more important. What you do is more important than what you say. When I watched the porn that had me in it, that guy didn't say anything wrong. But man, everything he did was all out of whack.
It'd be awesome if he was like Croatian or something. Had that real thick Eastern European accent or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it would make sense. I mean, the only woman I think that would have sat through that was being human trafficked. You know what I mean? So there's no fucking way she was on the clock of any kind. She would have.
That'd be funny.
Yeah.
That was your most traumatic memory from Iraq. People were like, "How was your deployment?" Saw porn with a guy who looked like me.
The horror.
Man, it was horrible.
The horror.
Jake goes to a therapist for
Yeah.
the PTSD.
PTSD from seeing that
And the-
porn.
and
The
the
therapist
They're-
is like, "Why do you sound like Marlon Brando in Apocalypse Now? Why do you have that voice?" They dropped napalm.
Sir, I
on
don't
women
even
in
know
children.
how to cover this kind of territory.
Napalm was not as
You
bad
didn't
as what
see
I
anyone
saw.
blowing up or anything?
They just had it sitting there right on their hard drives, waiting.
But yeah, I think we should just crack on to our first question.
Absolutely. Let's take our first question from the Wild Animals on Reddit people. If you have questions to write in. Matt on YouTube says, we're at Sarah's wedding photos. Where are Sarah's wedding photos? Oh, Suzanne's wedding photos. He says, end of first period. Hello, Jake and guess. With Sarah and Amy. It's Suzanne. Damn it.
That's okay, but that's really close.
Yeah, that's true. That's
really
true. It's close.
Yeah.
It's close.
Yeah. Because I also get a Stephanie a lot. People just see the S and think,
They just put any fucking thing they want after that.
Fine.
S,
Yeah, that's very close. Yeah.
Yeah. It's in the vicinity.
I'll
It was
try.
in the vicinity of your name.
Well, yeah. So, but we don't have any wedding pictures back yet. But once we do, maybe I'll go through and pick the worst one and upload it for you guys because I'm sure there's gonna be some doozies in there.
Absolutely. He says, I heard Suzanne's entire wedding showed up in one car. They had a Dunk the Clown and a cake that was Big Shoes.
Yeah.
Who's writing these comments?
So-
Chat
I think
Hey.
we might
GPT?
legit be
That's
talking about a
very-
different person.
That's very true because Mike's whole family did arrive in one car, and
Nice.
my friend Dunk was at the wedding.
There we go.
There you go. Whoa.
It was accurate.
Friend's
It
name
was
is Dunk?
accurate.
Yeah, his name is Duncan.
Yeah.
Oh.
There we go. There we go.
You call him Dunk for short.
There we go.
But he doesn't play basketball.
Man on YouTube is a psychic. Let's take our first question from the Wild Animals on Reddit.
First question. Cousin's fiance was once my summertime fling. I grew up very close to my cousin, and we've stayed close as we can, but we live in different states. During my summers for several years, I went to a month-long camp where my first year I was a camper. The next year I was a counselor. For the first year I met Kenny, and it was instant soul-crushing love, and he was literally all I thought about for the year. The next year, we actually dated when we were both counselors. We then drifted apart, but would still text and be honest.
That's how you get stabbed by Jason Voorhees' mother.
And to be honest, I always kind of hoped that we would find each other again. I did know that my cousin and Kenny went to the same school and had the same major, so I wasn't surprised when they started dating. As near as I can surmise, I knew about Kenny dating her, but he did not know that she was my cousin. The whole family recently met Kenny over Mother's Day. I knew that he was coming, so I tried very hard to stay low key. My mom is so obnoxious that when Kenny arrived, she screamed, "You look just like the little boy that Vivi had plastered all over her wall. Is your name Kenny?" He said yes, and clearly wanted to crawl into a hole, as did I. We said our hellos and said, "Nice to see you again," but it was very awkward. The little gathering was fine, and I avoided him for the most part. But the next morning, my cousin called me as she was hungover and furious at me that I didn't tell her that Kenny was my fling.
Yeah, it's fucking uncomfortable.
I tried to explain to her, but she was having none of it. I feel awful because I'm obviously very close to my cousin. So should I have done something different? How do I fix the situation? Wow. So one thing that's annoying about this question, so typically people are very good about posting their ages. That's like one of the requirements.
Yeah, it really does matter a lot with these questions.
That being said, one would assume that these people, obviously if they're still in university, they're in their early 20s at the very oldest.
Good catch.
So that being said, so to give a quick summary, the person writing the question, she was a camp counselor. Probably likes khaki shorts, etc. Well, what are camp counselors aren't really there to change kids' lives. They're there to fall in love with other camp counselors.
That's right.
So she fulfilled her job description. Now her former fling is engaged to her cousin, whom she's also very close to. But when she found this out, she didn't say anything. She just thought it was going to, go under the radar. But, mom, probably drunk on a little bit of boxed rosé, let the cat out of the bag.
Oh, yeah.
So it's for me, if
that mother's a problem. She gave her guff. That's guff with a capital G.
Yeah.
For me, if I was in this situation, it's, I would just own it. I would just say, yeah. And what?
Right. There's nothing you can do to
don't-
change it. That's a good point. Sorry.
I don't see the big deal in any of this.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
don't
you're
know
not
why.
close with your cousins.
No, just like if it's camp counselor, it's such a young thing that
Yeah.
happens to everybody,
I feel like high school's almost another
So
world,
with the
right?
cousin, though, you can't tell me that. I don't know. I kind of think I would have to be really solid in this relationship, and here's why I think that the engaged couple is not solid is because they probably are 23. But also,
Mormon.
I think that if I were engaged to someone that I knew my cousin had sex with, that would be all I could think about when I was having sex with that person is, oh my God, he's also been with Brenda. He's also been with Brenda. That's all I would think about.
It's camp counselors, though.
Yeah. It's
Which is worse because they probably did it in
14,
way
15.
hotter, different ways with
Right.
sticks and
Yeah.
leaves.
They probably
That's
wore
right.
a whistle,
Yeah.
both of them.
Yeah.
They didn't write a single song in Greece about people that met at fucking college,
Yeah.
They met at a camp and they had really good sex and they sang for 2 hours.
Yeah. And it's like
Band camp.
Yeah,
Yup,
exactly. So
That's
now it's so I think that the best solution for this scenario is the person earning this question needs to own it and then just drive that nail harder and deeper into the skull and be like, and then we did this and break that marriage apart for two reasons.
Yeah.
One, because it's gross.
There you go.
But
Yeah.
secondly, don't let your cousin get married when she's 23. What kind of a monster are you?
That's right. That's right. You gotta destroy her to save her, I think.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a damn good point. If I would have gotten married that young, my life would have been over. You got to get married at 38 like I did.
Yeah, you figured yourself out.
Yeah, you know
Damn
yourself.
straight.
But the plastering the photos on the wall, that's a red flag, I feel like.
That's weird.
Who does that?
That's weird.
Are you
But
in
here's-
the movie Twilight or something? Who does this still?
Oh, no, that's a good question. Yeah, because also I feel like that's kind of like a 90s
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah.
it's like Gen
did you
X.
not
Right.
have did you not have a phone? But
Right.
but here's the other thing that I think is a little odd about the situation. If the mom recognized him from the photos, did the
Yeah.
cousin never go over to the house.
Right. That's also
Oh,
a
right.
mystery.
You know,
That's pretty
why
weird.
doesn't the
That's
cousin
pretty
like,
weird.
wait a second, this looks like all those photos that my creepy camp counselor
Yeah.
cousin has.
It's a way tough decision because she is in a situation where she did not do anything wrong, but the cousin's still going to be justifiably fucking weirded out by this, you know? I mean, she's marrying someone who slept with one of her family members, so like she's not going to think about it, and there's no way to undo it. There's no way to, you know, it's not that either of them did anything wrong, but the cousin's still going to be pissed off at them for it. It's,
my God.
It's a fucking tough one.
Am I being like totally puritanical in this situation? Maybe we just, maybe the cousin should just be like, yeah, cool, love is love. Like,
Yeah.
why can't we use love is love in this situation?
You
Or is
sounded like
that-
Pat Robertson for a bit there.
degrading to
It's pretty wild.
yeah. It's I don't know. I mean, don't judge people, but I guess like it is a little puritanical to be like, what, you had a previous sex life before me? I'm breaking up with you.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm changing my answer.
It's a tough one to break up with someone because then you sound like a dick when they're like, "Hey, what happened to Rachel? Oh, she fucked my cousin like years ago." You know what I mean? Like before we ever met. I mean,
no,
you
but-
sound like a dick if you tell people that's why you broke up.
No, but you could so get away with it. It's just like,
Sure.
you know, she goes to brunch with her friends afterwards after they break up, and you know Shannon's like, "Oh my God, why'd you guys break up?" And she just goes, he slept with my cousin," and they're like, "Oh my God, what?" And then you just take a drink of your rosé. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
And then that's
Yeah.
it. You don't have to clarify.
Don't-
It was
don't give
totally
people the
not when
deets.
you guys were dating.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
say he slept with my cousin.
You just yes, commit defamation. I say defamation is the fucking key if you're going to do this.
Okay.
Well, I'm just jealous. I don't have anything in common with my cousins. So at least we would have that to bond over. Like, hey, remember their nipples or whatever? You know, we'd bond over that.
Yeah, I'm not very close with my cousins either, and so I think that if that happened, if I found out that my partner had sex with a cousin, I'd be like, really? Where does she live? Where does she live now?
What is she up to? Is she on Facebook?
Is she with Josh still?
Right.
Like, I would ask general questions about her well-being.
Did she get that paralegal degree?
Yeah. Oh, good for her. She'd always wanted to be a massage therapist.
Yeah. Oh, we got some comments. Matt on YouTube says, "Why do you married people traumatize kids?" He says, "Camp
What?
counselors."
Oh, 'cause of the mom.
Yeah, these are. I think some of these comments are older. He says, "Camp counselors introduce you to horrible sex and pottery." He says, "23 mom said, be home for dinner. Sweetheart, I love Long Island." He says,
I think that's a reference to the young kids in Long
Oh,
Island.
God,
you know.
yeah.
okay.
He
Whereas
says,
us big city folk, you know,
Oh.
we know the way.
That's
All right.
right.
Yeah,
That's
we-
right. Matt on YouTube says, if you don't shave 8 times a week, don't get married.
8 times a week? Are you crazy?
He says, break up with every man. This poor girl. It's like the lesbian on Scooby-Doo. Shaggy knew better. He was ahead of his time. Amy on YouTube says, "Man, I must be a monster because I'm married, and if I shaved 8 times a week, no one would recognize me." Joel on YouTube says, "I was happy to date experienced women. It takes too long for some girls to learn to not use teeth."
Well, that's part of being a camp counselor also, I guess.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. At camp. Oh my God, those counselors left me looking like that zebra stripe gum from the '90s. You know, it was fucking awful.
I will say that as far as
Every
like,
time they start doing it, I'd hear Donna, 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 Donna. Like it was awful. It was way scarier than Jason
you
Voorhees'
gave
mom.
her the red zebra stripe. God damn it, that was for me. That was our special gum. But so I'm just gonna give my final advice for these people, and it's I am going back on if we knew that these people were, you know, in their late 20s or just like maybe had a little bit more life experience. On the face of it, the fact that the fiance hooked up with the cousin, that's not bad in
Sure.
itself. What I am against is like, people that are super young getting married, just because I think it's, a waste of time. You should go out and experience the world a little bit, and then maybe you'll find someone who hasn't fucked your cousin. What? Mind blown.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's true. That is one of my, I used to put on my Tinder profile when I was single, you better not have fucked my cousins. That was one of the first requirements. It was in caps lock.
Wouldn't
I
it
was
be
passionate about that.
But wouldn't it be funny, though, that being said, what if you had like a picture of your cousin and you walked into a bar of New York City and you just said, has anyone had sex with this woman? And there's one guy in the back's like, oh yeah. Like, that would also be hilarious. And then, but then again, my question would just be like, oh yeah, how's she doing?
What's she up to?
Yeah.
I dated some trash. If I would have done that back in the day, it would have been like the end of Sparta, because I had sex with that woman. I had sex with that woman. I had sex with that woman.
Okay, so what other any other final advice for the person writing this question?
All right.
Did the dude not know at all? Because it's hard to believe that if they're so close that he wouldn't even, It
sounds like he it sounds like he knew because
so he didn't even say anything.
He obviously, like, at the family reunion, he had to kind of fess up to it. He was like, oh yeah, hi.
Oh yeah,
baby.
that if there's a culprit, it's that dude. He should have said something.
Yeah.
So
He should have said something earlier.
but
He should have got ahead.
I didn't even think about that point.
Why didn't he say it?
And this
Good
is what
point.
happens all
Good
the time.
goddamn point.
Why are you mad at the person that your partner cheated with?
Yeah.
Be mad at your partner. Be mad at your partner.
Right.
Oh my God, that's...
And it's not technically cheating, but like he knew. It's one of those situations. He didn't commit a crime until the cover-up. It's a Richard Nixon Watergate situation. This is just like Watergate.
All the cousins men.
Yeah. This will be a hit series on Netflix by this time next week.
No, but I think that's an excellent point. Yeah. When does Kenny, take some accountability for all this?
I feel like he should jump on top of this grenade. This is his point, Like a private from World War II with a chow hall named after them. He should do the honorable thing.
You know what he should do is break up with that girl and go after the mother. And just go after all of them.
Go up the whole family tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go for the record.
The mom does sound like she's fun.
Yeah.
The mom sounds fun.
Yeah.
Keep going, sir. The only way out of this hurricane is through. You never drop anchor in a storm.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other final advice for this person?
All right, my final advice. Well, I kind of like that final advice. I say fuck the whole family. But if you're not going to do that, and you do want to keep this, or wait, no, we're giving advice to the cousin's fiance was my summer first. So we're giving advice to the lady who's like not in the relationship.
Correct.
So okay.
Oh right.
Okay.
Well, you can give advice to her.
What she has to do is she has to whisper in, because this is advice to the dude, but you're going to have to give him this advice. You're going to have to go behind enemy lines, and you're going to have to whisper this in his ear. You're going to be like, listen, to make her not jealous of me, you got to start trashing me. Like bad. Like tell him my twat stinks. Yeah. Tell him I fucking give toothy blowjobs. Tell him I'm fucking annoying. Tell him everything. Everything to make, like, don't tell him too crazy stuff. Don't tell him like, oh, I murdered someone back in the 90s and fucking, but like, don't incriminate me, but like make me seem like a horrible lay, make me seem like an annoying person, make me whatever, because then she is not going to be jealous of me. She's going to be like, oh my God, I did not know Linda was like that. She cut your dick off. She made it look like the zebra stripe gum. Oh my God. And you just like really just get in her head and have him sabotage you. You sabotage yourself through him. That's the only way to save this relationship.
Or they could do some sort of like a weird experiment where like he it's probably going to take months, but where once he sees her, it's like he's like shocked or something, so he shudders. So then for the rest of his life, every time he sees her, it's just that Pavlovian response where he sees her, he's like, ugh, and then the fiance and then the wife is like, oh good, he's totally over her. He can't even stand. Or like a gag reflex would be good too.
Yeah, you see her, fake a visceral reaction. Just,
it's like say her name and then make him eat like bad egg salad.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
That's a good plan.
That's good. That's how they tell you to quit smoking. Is you smell the cigarette and then you picture disgusting things and you do that.
Wow.
You do that with your vagina to that dude. Okay. You know what I mean? Like have him think about you. Have him look at a pile of dog shit or something. Just have him do that 20 times a day. Yeah. And eventually he will be able to fake the visceral reaction because it will be real.
Yeah, perfect. All right, well, I think
Or you just tell your cousin to fuck off because she sounds like she's getting on your shit for something you didn't really do.
We are 22 years old now.
Yeah.
Lisa.
You grow the fuck up, Lisa.
Grow up.
The fuck.
Okay.
You're not Lisa Simpson. You're a grown-up Lisa. Stop this shit.
I think we answered that question.
Absolutely.
I think we should move on to the next question.
Next question on the Love Gurus podcast. People, if you've got questions to write them to Love Gurus podcast at yahoo.com, or even better, ask the question live right here on the show every single Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. For right now, we are going to take another one from the Wild Animals on Reddit.
Next question. My wife says that she supports my hobby, but does she?
What?
I'm 31 and my wife is 35, and we've been married for 6 years. At the time, she knew I was into video games, but I hadn't played for a very long time while we've been married.
Oh, Christ.
In regards to video games, I overplay the Legend of Zelda titles, which only come out every 5 to 6 years.
What a fucking tool.
So when the game comes out, I'll play it for 2 to 3 hours a day for about 2 weeks, and I'll complete the main story, then I never play the game again. Throughout our relationship, she has bought me Zelda-related goods and merchandise because she knows that I like the video game.
You don't deserve to get laid.
So fast forward to last Friday, the new Zelda game releases, and she knows that I've been waiting for this release for the last 5 to 6 years. All of the housework is finished, our bookkeeping is done for the week, and I've just come home from work, so I say, I'm gonna go play Zelda. She responds with, oh, all right, then enjoy your game! So I say, oh, okay, thanks. Of course, it's awkward, so I just played for about 30 minutes and I stopped. I tried to play again on Saturday, but I got the same kind of negative response from her. She said, okay, enjoy your game while I find something else to do! I don't get it. I've never been in this situation before with my wife. I would like to experience the new Zelda game, which she knows I've been waiting for, but I don't want to annoy her either.
Zelda.
I'm getting very mixed signals. What do I do? I mean, this again to me is just, it is sort of unfortunate timing in the sense that it doesn't say how long they dated before they were married, but yeah, it's like they essentially... Zelda came out, rough. They got married, and now 6 years later, the new Zelda's out. Yeah. So it's, and she's acting like she's supportive, but also like, I think it doesn't matter. I think that if you're in a relationship and you can't figure out something else to do for 2 hours on your own. Like, it doesn't even matter what it is. I mean, again, it's playing a video game. Like, if it was him throwing bricks off of a bridge and hurting people,
I'm just video game shaming him at this point.
But it's like, if he's just doing a dumb thing,
me up.
It's like if I want to watch Queer Eye on Netflix for 2 hours, like, my husband wouldn't give a shit because guess what? He's an adult and he can find other stuff to do.
Right.
But so I'm just saying I think that's the main problem with this. It's not that you're playing a video game. It's that you guys almost sound like you have a weird codependent relationship.
I'm glad that you pointed out the 2 hour thing because that's not that crazy long to just play a video game, you know? So it's like I would get it if it was because some of those video game guys get fucking nuts with that shit, you know? But they're playing online stuff. They're not playing like a video game that was cool in the 90s. You know?
Yeah, and corrupting 13-year-olds.
Yeah, I mean that's what gets me is I'm like, if you're gonna let a video game break up your relationship, make it Elder Scrolls or something, dummy. There's so much better shit that's come out since Zelda. I'm not even really hating on Zelda that much. I played the one on Nintendo 64 when I was a kid. They got better shit now. You know what I mean? Play Don't give up. Don't break up over Zelda. Break up over Red Dead Redemption 2. What are you doing?
It sounds to me something bubbling under the surface. You know, when you don't like somebody and they do something wrong, if you jump all over it. It feels like not all is well in Hyrule. You know, there's something up there. The ocarina is bad over there. There's something going on.
Or do you think
the Zelda cuts?
But do you think maybe it's I know this is gonna sound weird, but if it's like almost a jealousy thing of, he's creaming his jeans over Zelda, and she's like, Jason, you haven't creamed your jeans over me, and
that could be,
Do I gotta dress like Zelda? Do I gotta get a blue dress and a veil?
Yeah, because you think about like maybe they went out to dinner last week and they had a conversation. It was a nice dinner, but then she saw the way he stares at the television screen at Zelda, and she's like, he's never looked at me that way before.
Yeah, right.
It's that jealousy.
I'm picturing her angrily bursting in the room with the Zelda costume that she got on Amazon. Is this what you want? Is this what you need?
Spend 2 hours on this. Points at herself.
You spent 2 hours trying to rescue that whore. You won't spend 20 minutes down here.
Yeah.
Get this pussy or I'm out. Get this pussy or I'll fuck somebody else. Get this pussy.
That's Indiana Jones.
No, is that Indiana
That's
Jones?
Indiana Jones.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh shit! I thought that was Zelda.
Or is it Zelda?
No, that's not Zelda at all.
No.
I don't play.
You're right.
You could have just lied to me. I know
Oh no, I'm calling you.
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones.
That's right.
You don't misrepresent Harrison Ford in front of Suzanne
that's right.
Shepard.
That's right. You know what?
Motherfucker.
Because Harrison Ford in Indiana Jones was the man. He wasn't that stupid elf in Zelda.
Yeah.
That's
true.
why I don't know its theme song.
Yeah. But,
Wait, yes, I do.
Yeah, but what were you gonna say, Natan? You were saying that.
No, I wasn't gonna.
Oh, okay.
I was just like, wow, that's very similar
So
to
what's-
Indiana Jones.
It is
Yeah.
very. So what's okay? So back to the first question where he say okay. So he does say that he plays it for 2 to 3 hours a day for 2 weeks straight. What's if your partner was doing so, I would say like if my partner were doing like I would say something entertainment. Obviously like work's
Sure.
different. Work and sleep are different scenarios. But if he was like, I'm going to do this one thing, even if it was like read a book, if he's like, I'm going to read a book, which would never happen, by the way, but that's who I'm married to. But if Mike were like, I'm going to read a book for, I can't even say it. It's so funny. Think about it.
Never change, Mike. I don't read those fucking things either. I'm a podcast man.
If Mike said he was going to read a book for 4 hours every day for 2
You're
weeks,
lying. Who is she?
I'd be like, fucking do it. I dare you. But there's no, because
You know what's going to happen. You're going to get a headache and you're going to get sleepy after 10 pages.
I don't know, but also I think that as someone I've been in my relationship for a while, it's almost kind of nice. Like if you take a trip away from your partner and then you come back and it's like you've so much to talk about. It's like, oh, what was this? So if they get really into this Zelda game, it's almost like you could go out and do something, and then once you come back together, you'd at least like have something to talk about.
That's true.
Oh, Amy in the chat, producer Amy says, I feel like this question just described marriage perfectly. Matt on YouTube says, you hate her breakup. That almost as bad as that's almost as bad as interrupting the great Ray Lewis on a strong side blitz back in the day. It's me too, not screw you. Let's see. Matt says, "What isn't he wearing?
What's he wearing?
No, what is he wearing? Isn't he?
Why?
I think he meant why isn't he wearing jeans?
Oh yeah,
yeah, that fucking Zelda.
I thought it was.
Put
I
pants on,
thought it
Link.
was illegal for males to wear pants and play video games, or was that? Was that a farce?
Oh, I thought he was talking about the
Boxers
guy in
only.
Zelda. Yeah. Joel on YouTube says, at Amy, I'd pay good money to see Jake in a blue dress as well. And a veil. He says, you ruined my suit pants. Let's see. Producer Amy says, Jake, your Zelda is horrible. I know. I don't know the song. I don't know the song. Oh, no. I do.
That's Super Mario.
Shit. God damn it. No,
wait.
it's dun, dun, dun,
Super
dun,
Mario
dun,
is
dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I had it right.
Yeah.
Second time was the charm. Matt on YouTube says, I got the wedding tuxedo from Men's Warehouse Luckily, wear the Y clean, all stains, no questions asked. He says, really, you're going to be in that relationship for a longer Sarah Blood oath Irish.
Yeah.
Oh, I just thought of advice for this guy.
Yeah.
Second controller.
Whoa.
What do you say?
Whoa,
What do you say? Bring her in, buddy.
Yeah.
Player 2.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
She wants you to learn about the Real Housewives. She's got to learn about Zelda.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
He's got to learn the sword and whatever he does.
Yeah.
That's right.
Like I said, I just think it's healthy to have like different hobbies, and you don't have to spend all day together. But clearly, she is triggered in some way that he is not. So it's either they have like a weird codependent relationship where they spend, like I once worked when I did an internship, there was a couple that worked there that they were married. They drove to work together, and then they sat in the same cubicle space. They sat in the same cubicle all day long. Like, so they literally spent.
Oh my God,
It's awful.
Unless that person, the other one was in the bathroom, they otherwise spent 24 hours a day together.
That's punishment for shoplifting in many Eastern European countries.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
rough,
just
dude.
like talk about
work
a
with your
nightmare.
wife.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's also. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So yeah, I'm just saying, like, so unless you guys have like a weird codependent relationship, this is a healthy thing. Like, encourage her. You know, maybe he could do, treat her to something for that 2 to 3 hours. Just say, hey, I booked you in a massage, or, I got you a ticket to the museum or something, so while I'm doing this, you go do that.
Do boring grown-up things. I'm playing Zelda.
Yeah, and then we'll come back together. You tell me about the ancient Egyptians, and I'll tell you about the ancient elves. What's the Zelda? I don't know.
Oh, Joel on YouTube says, I can name that tune in 3 doo-doo-doos. Matt on YouTube says that's the national anthem. Producer Amy says the link is the Zelda music. Oh, yeah. I like a good Zelda one-liner.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the link.
That's that guy's name.
Okay.
That's that goofy little elf that likes to run around in that dress and flash people.
Yeah, but
okay.
yeah,
Run around fucking Hyrule with his hiney hanging out.
What do you? So we answered that, and then it's I don't know. Like, has anyone been in that situation where your partner's almost like accusing you of having a healthy habit, and you're like, it's actually just you had to like defend yourself?
I mean, I don't know why, but I kind of get why when the girlfriend always is upset when the guy plays video games, because it's not really, just visually it doesn't look really appealing to see a guy.
Just a slob with
just
headphones
Doritos
on
everywhere.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Like, you could be like, sport or something.
Yeah.
Soccer.
But I understand what you're saying. However, I think that it, especially like people that are under the age of, like 45, it's like we all grew up playing video games.
Yeah.
Like,
Sure.
so it's kind of like,
It's
okay,
normal
so
now.
you grew up playing basketball, but now you're supposed to stop playing basketball, like when you're older, like, because you don't like it. Like, of course you're still gonna like it.
Yeah.
So it's like, so that video game, I think it was like when we were kids, we just saw like the Simpsons character, and it's like, well, okay, good kids, don't become that guy. So it's like, to me, I get like why people, even though that they're close to 50, still like video games, as long as it's not taking over their lives. However, I will say, I once lived in this apartment complex where it was like, all the doors are like facing each other, and I hear like some pounding on like the neighbor across the way. And so I open my door, and it's this woman, and she is like banging so hard on her door. And I was like, are you okay? And she goes, oh, sorry. My boyfriend's playing video games, and he has his noise canceling headphones on right now. And he locked me out. And so he's never going to hear me.
Oh no.
And I was just like, well, do you want to come in for a cup of coffee or something? I'm happy to. So she came in, and like, because it was like a Sunday morning. I was like, would you like a cup of coffee? We could sit and chat and stuff. And she was so mad, and she was just like calling him over and over again. Anyway, finally he did.
I'm picturing she's banging on the fucking door, yelling, "You piece of shit!" And all he hears is, "Dude."
But But it was that situation where you see, he's like plugged in, like he's in the Matrix, essentially. Which that I get. Like, listen,
that's
and
too
also
much.
if you have that kind of setup and you're only paying $900 a month for the apartment, where are your priorities? You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
Like that's weird.
Crazy.
Yeah,
that's and I realized something that really annoys me about this fucking guy that had me like making fun of him off the bat is the title of the question is wife says she supports my hobby. The fact that he called playing Zelda for 2 hours on a Sunday his hobby is just fucking weird. Do you know what I mean? Like I was expecting fishing or like, restoring cars or even if it's video games, I'm expecting, the setup, the noise canceling headphones. He's playing them online. He's at least playing a fucking game from less than 20 years ago. Like this is crazy.
You know who else loves Zelda?
Who's that?
Sally Field.
Really?
Sally Field. I can't remember. This was a long time ago that I saw this, but she said that she's obsessed with Zelda, and that Sally Field, Oscar-winning Sally Field,
fuck yeah, dude.
That she will allow herself. It's like 2 or 3 hours or something on a Saturday morning, and then that's it. It's almost like to her like a regime thing. She's like she'll allow herself. That little bit of guilty pleasure, but then that's it.
She's got to cut it off. She's like an alcoholic who's like, I can have wine with dinner, but that's it.
Yeah. So
I'm not letting Zelda ruin my life. It cost me an Oscar once.
I'm just saying, if Sally Field doesn't, seems like it's probably fine. Anyway.
Matt on YouTube says, what if she has cramps during Madden 2023? I mean, not saying girls can't play football, but Madden, you can't count on them. So you need a backup girlfriend during the 3-week period. Joel says, I still think the wife needs to go to camp, Camp Pound Town.
Oh my God!
Wow. He says, I grew up on Pong. I'm old Suzanne. Matt says my favorite movie is Michael Keaton in My Dinner with Andre. I don't think I've seen that. He says, "Let me clear my throat."
Okay. So new business idea. Okay, and let me preface this by saying I'm not suggesting escorts, but we should be able to like hire some sort of adult babysitter. Where it's
babysitter?
Like, like let's say, you're in a relationship or whatever, and it's like, hey, can you come and again, not an escort, I'm
glad you point that out because and you got to put that on all the ads because day 2 there is going to be a grown pervert in a diaper and with a giant bobble. You're like, no, that's not what this is. The
vetting process for this business idea would be a nightmare. But in a perfect world, if you could just hire, Tina to come over and take your wife out, to.
Suzanne, I think they call that a friend. You just need to get a friend.
But isn't it much more comfortable when it's transactional? You know what I mean? Isn't it? When there's a money exchange, you don't feel guilty about it.
No strings attached. Friend.
No strings attached friendship.
Oh, I thought of a good name for it. Adult Friend Finder. Wait, no, that's already a thing. That's already escort.
That's already a website and a T-shirt.
Yeah, and it's escort. So.
Well, again, these people don't sound like they have any friends. So that's why I'm saying make a business for friends. It's too slippery of a slope, guys. But
Matt on YouTube says it was an experimental film from the 80s starring Johnny Depp as Andre. Fuck, now I really want to see this. I'm going to look this up after the show.
Defos.
That sounds good.
So that was pre-Batman, Matt? Before?
Oh, yeah. It was before he talked like this all the time.
Oh, yeah.
I talked like a regular person as Andre, but now I just sound like this.
Okay.
I have lots of feathers and bands on me.
I want to go to final advice. I say, listen, sir, just lean into it. Set boundaries. Say, listen, this is what I'm going to do during this time. I'm not going to play Zelda any more than that. You're welcome to go do whatever you want. If you can't fill 3 hours of your own day for a couple weeks, well, that's, then I can sign you up for Adult Friend Finder for a little bit. What other final advice do you guys have for this for this question.
Well, I play video games with my buddies from back home, and when I do it, I tell my girlfriend, "Hey, I'm just hanging out with my friends." But I'm just on the computer.
That's right.
So maybe this guy's got to be like, I'm just hanging out with my buddy, Link or whoever the hell.
My best friend is an elf in a fucking green dress who runs around the woods.
Just hanging.
It's also
just hanging out.
It's also cute when you say things like "my buddies from back home." Sure.
Yeah, you know Luigi and Donkey Kong. Went to high school with Bowser.
What do you guys do together? Just hang around playing Orkianos? Little fat flutes. Just playing fat flutes. That's what we do.
It's if 6 of 7 of them aren't eligible to vote in a Putin election, I'd be surprised. Any other final advice for this person?
All right. Yeah. My final advice is, man, I was really against this guy because of that douchey hobby thing when I discovered what it was, that I just flew off the handle at him right away. And now I'm kind of backtracking because I missed the part where you said this is only 2 hours a day. What I think you should do is I think you should, if you're not going to break up with her right away, because I feel like that's the clear thing. She's clearly being controlling to you. Cheat on her with Sally Fields. Yeah, is you cheat on her with Sally Fields. You dress like Link, you dress her up like Zelda, and you know she's going to play a convincing fucking Zelda because that's what she does.
Oh my God, if you were into that, it'd be so hot because Sally would crush it.
She would crush it. And you can even film it and use that sort of reverse aging stuff like they used in The Irishman. You know,
I thought you were going to say the Golden Girls.
Or Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars did it. Golden Girls did it. So she looks like a young, sexy Sally Fields that played Forrest Gump's mom. Or wait, no, she was still kind of old then. But so you make her look even younger. You make her look like a young, sexy Forrest Gump mom who banged that kid's teacher to get him into school.
Your mama sure does care about your education, Forrest.
That's right. You throw that blue dress on her. You throw on the green dress, and you knock dresses.
And let's get Lieutenant Dan in there.
That's right.
Steph. Yeah.
You
got those magic legs.
He shows up with his magic legs, and he films the whole goddamn thing in the corner while chanting with his raspy cigarette Vietnam veteran voice.
It is
all drunk, getting blown by hookers.
I must say that we probably reference Forrest Gump once every 4th episode on this podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's more than I wish. You're right.
We have to, though.
You gotta. It's a fucking classic.
And he was throughout history, so.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, covering all the bases.
I didn't think about why we do it so much other than that it's a good movie, but like, yeah, he's in like fucking 7 decades in that movie.
Right.
It's crazy.
7 decades, every monumental event.
He accidentally bumps into fucking every president for like 70 years.
Yeah.
Just by accident, just taking a piss. Oh, my God. It's fucking Eisenhower. What do you do?
He should have. Yeah, it's a shame that Forrest Gump didn't get Botox at the end of it. You know.
Yeah.
And then I got Anyway.
Instead, he got AIDS. Fucking poor guy.
Didn't get it.
He got AIDS.
Didn't get it.
He totally got AIDS.
What was it that just?
Jenny died of AIDS. They had a kid, unprotected sex. They were married for years.
Well, you don't know if it's unprotected.
Dude, they absolutely.
You don't know that.
They have a son.
Yeah. Why wasn't there a Forrest Gump 2? Huh? Why wasn't there a Forrest Gump 2? They didn't want to break our hearts.
He's right.
They didn't want Forrest Gump 2 looking like Philadelphia. Philadelphia was Forrest Gump 2.
Philadelphia is also a great movie. Okay, we answered that question. Let's move on. Let's do. Okay, so we'll do the next one, and then we'll do lightning round.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Next question on Love Gurus Podcast. Yeah. So is this 3 or 4?
This is 3. Yeah.
All right. Next question on Love Gurus Podcast. People, give us your questions. Give us your comments in the chat. We're going to take our next one from the wild animals on Reddit.
Husband booked a $10,000 vacation. I'm 38 and my husband's 39. Apparently my husband booked a $10,000 vacation package back in 2020 without telling me. It's a 3-night bungalow over the water thing at a Sandals resort in Jamaica. We're supposed to go in December. He put $2,500 down on the deposit and it's non-refundable. He waited until the last possible second to tell me about it, which was this week. If we end up, we are going to need to throw even more money at the trip and book airfare and get passports. He's trying to pitch this as a quote-unquote once-in-a-lifetime experience that he booked for our 20th wedding anniversary and
that's sweet.
his 40th birthday. You do the math! Okay. But it's really all about him.
They got married at summer camp.
I'm not a big fan of traveling at all. It just gives me more anxiety than it does any relaxation. My most hated travel destination is the beach, and he knows this very well.
All right, I was way against this lady, but that's it, dude. Come on.
This is a vacation that he wants to take more than anything, not because he wants to give it to me. Thinking about spending this much money on such a short vacation to somewhere that I don't even want to go to makes me nauseous. It's a waste of money. I keep thinking about how much better off we'd be putting it to some other use. I've talked to my friends and family about this, but they tell me that I should just be happy that he did it. Should I just pretend to be happy and go on the vacation, or should I put my foot down? I don't know.
Down.
I feel like the person writing this question sounds like a stick in the mud.
Yeah,
really.
a bit.
I was walking over here and I saw a piece of gum that looked like a ghost. That piece of gum is more fun than this woman.
Yeah, she sucks. She sucks. So way to fucking
boring.
brag about. My husband spent $10,000 on a vacation. It's like I have never seen 5 figures in my bank account in my entire life. How fucking dare you, man? We have too much money and it's making my wallet so heavy. My back hurts from carrying it around all the time.
Well, so it sounds like they can afford it, but maybe not as comfortable. They can't afford it, but maybe they are like super, super wealthy. And she's saying that they don't really travel that much. But again, like I get the splurge. I get it's the 20th anniversary. Sure. I get that they've never like gone anywhere. It's like if you're gonna do it, go big or go home. But also, just because you're going to Jamaica doesn't mean you have to sit in the beach. Yeah.
That's a good point,
spas.
Man.
You could, they're called beach chairs. It's a new
pools.
invention.
I'm glad you talked me out
pools?
of this.
Yeah. It's really a whole. Like I said, I think.
You've changed my mind on her. She sucks. See, I thought she sucked, and then she mentioned the thing about not liking the beach. And you've convinced me, I'm like, wait a minute. Who sat at the fucking beach? Will you stop with this? Sandy beaches, fucking tequila or rum-based drinks? What? You're sad at the beach? Stop.
What I will say is I do know people that they don't like the beach but it's more of like they don't like the feeling of sand, if that makes sense. Okay. And I've known several people that think the same way. And also just like because it gets everywhere, so it's like that part I get. But as Andrew pointed out, there's pools. Like there's other ways.
There's margaritas, pina coladas.
Plus, also, if one remembers, it fucking said a bungalow over the water.
Yeah.
No beach there.
Yeah.
You're a bungalow over the water. There's literally no beach. What are you talking about?
You're over the beach. You're over the beach. This guy's over you. You don't deserve him.
$10,000 is a lot, though, for a trip. I mean, they should use kayak.
And also, what I say is, I think that if you're going to spend $10,000 for 3 nights, like what did you book?
It better be something nice. Yeah.
It better have Jeff Bezos' hot girlfriend Lauren Sanchez there as your turn down service person.
Yeah. I want
to. What are you talking about?
I want to be sleeping on a slab of steak and eating it. And,
I want to get a sponge bath from a reindeer. That's
right. Yeah.
From a beach reindeer.
Santa Claus will be my waiter.
I want every steak I eat to be some kind of endangered animal.
Right.
It's got to be fancy and fucking expensive.
Yeah. So again, I get this as the splurge, but I think that but again, like the money aspect, I get. That's the only part of this concept, or the only part of her argument that I could kind of understand. But I think that she should say, okay, fine. And then make it very clear to him. Sit him down, have a conversation, and go, okay, we're going to do this. I'm going to go on this vacation. I'm going to try to have a good time. But this is it. This is it. This is your Michael Jackson moment of our marriage. Are we going to make it to the end? No, you're probably going to die of a fentanyl overdose. But that being said, like, this is it. Just give him that one thing. But then also
I'm sleepy, give me fentanyl.
With the expectation that you also get a big, you also get a big moment.
Right.
You don't know when you're going to take
Yeah.
it. You don't know what you're going to do.
right.
It's going to be 10 grand.
Yeah, but it's you have
Uh-huh.
now this T-shirt cannon of an experience.
10 grand on the back burner.
That you get to
Right.
explode whenever you want, and
right.
he has to be on board.
Got to be on board.
Yeah.
Got to be on board. That was the one thing where I was kind of on her side a little bit until you convinced me what a terrible human being this is the fact that if I was going to surprise my wife with a 10 grand vacation, which we absolutely cannot afford, I would at least do a bit of homework and either sneakily ask her, like, hey, if we won the lottery, where would you want it? Stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
I would ask one of her friends, like, hey, where does she really want to go? Like, I would make sure it was something that she actually gave a fuck about doing. If I was married to somebody who was miserable on the beach, for one thing, I'd kill myself. You know, but if I didn't kill myself, I would at least know that information, because that would come up in a conversation. I'd be like, what the fuck do you mean you don't like that beach?
Yeah.
You know, and I would cause a scene at a restaurant if she told me that there.
I imagine you like burying her in the sand, but like in an angry way.
I would bury her
like in a
Over the head, no straw for air.
I would bury her in the sand.
It's like little plastic shovel.
I would bury
Why
her
is
in
there
the,
a gravestone on this beach?
That's right. I would bury her up to her neck during low tide and wait for high tide, like the way they killed that guy in season 3 of Boardwalk Empire.
Or
That's
Creep
right.
Show, the movie. You ever
They
seen
did
Creep Show?
I have not.
Oh, they do that there.
Yeah,
Nice.
I read a book where they did that to one of the. It was like a bullying thing. That's how they killed one of the kids.
Wow.
Yeah,
To bully a kid? Those are mean bullies at that school. Jesus.
Yeah, really.
it was a fictional book to be.
Hey, that nerd's got 4 eyes. Let's say we murder him at the beach. Yeah, this is what we do to nerds. We murder them.
Yeah, let's spend all night digging a deep hole,
Yeah.
putting a nerd in it.
That's what we do. We wear Letterman jackets and we commit murder.
That's what I was like blows my mind about like people like when people talk about how much they like love their siblings. It's like I've had so many experiences with my brothers where I was like pretty sure I was going to die as a child, and
Sure.
it's like I love my brothers, but I wouldn't consider myself close with them because I was pretty sure I was just always going to be murdered every day by them. And so when people grow up with siblings that didn't almost murder them 17 times, it's like that's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, and one of them is like definitely getting buried and you can't move your arms. It's like, Mom! So, but yeah, I don't know. Well, okay, here's the other thing. Yeah, I've definitely never spent $10,000 on a vacation.
That's
like,
pretty wild, dude.
that's really crazy. Like,
I
think
hope
about-
that after 20 years of marriage, I can afford that. That's fucking wild to me, dude.
That's a big event. What if
Yeah.
he'd been like, what if he had been like, it's something like, what if he loved, lattes or something like that, or like a coffee, and he said to himself, I'm not going to get in coffee. I'm just going to put this money away. What if he like made some big sacrifice
It's
or
a lot of lattes.
or
10
yeah,
grand.
or something, what if he like made a sacrifice? He went without something for 20 years
Yeah.
to then be able to afford this trip with his wife, and his wife's like, I don't like Coronas, and doesn't want to go to the beach.
I'm a compulsive masturbator, and I'm giving up lube. I'm going dry. No, not just dry January, dry 15 years, so I can afford this vacay. I don't care about the blisters.
Yeah. I think I'm just gonna stick to what I previously said before. Yeah, just go on the trip, try and not be a sourpuss, and but then also just be very clear that you have a surprise in the bag as well at some point.
I think her puss is so sour they squeeze it into tequila drinks to make them bearable. They squeeze it into the well tequila because it's the only way to drink it. Is this lady's sour puss?
She goes into the ocean, and all the Jamaicans are like, "Oh my god, is someone dynamite fishing? No, it's that woman's pussy."
What you doing with that sour puss in these waters, man?
Ma'am, close your legs.
I'm not making a rum drink. I don't need that sour puss around me.
I've never smelled the ganja quite that bad.
It's either the world's greatest ganja or the world's sourest puss, man. And this guy can't even drink it on the beach. This poor bastard.
Okay, yeah. So, what other final advice do you guys have for this person? Or we can also move on to the next question if we're.
Oh, I got to get my music back up.
Oh, Jake's getting
advice?
his.
Yeah.
Please. Oh, it's a shame that you don't have like some. I know you have to do like the non-copyright stuff, but it's a shame you don't have some Jamaican music queued up.
that would be
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I should have told you that before.
In fact, my advice, in the words of some dude from Jamaica that wrote a song once, don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. That's what you should do. Just go to the beach, listen to some fucking Bob Marley.
Oh, I thought that was the theme song to Zelda.
That's right. You know what? Fuck it. Here's what you do. Yeah. He spent it like, again, I hate this woman, but I'm her lawyer now. I'm like that Joe Tacopino guy with Trump. You know what I mean? Sure, he was trashing him 4 years ago, but now he's getting paid. I'm your Joe Tacopino, lady. What I say is you do a passive-aggressive move where you're like, great, let's go to the fucking beach. You know what you do that entire time? You spend the entire time in your room with a Nintendo 64 going, a fucking womp fuck the beach. Fuck the beach. Even the beach in Zelda, I'm skipping that level. Yeah.
That would be funny. That would
That's
be
right.
very funny.
That's right.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. Okay, great. Well, let's do a lightning round question.
Right.
So how we do lightning round is that I will read the question, and then we'll just quickly go around the room and give our final advice.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, before we do that,
we have some comments?
man on YouTube says, I watched it on ESPN. Oh, shit. I don't know what he's talking about. He says,
the golf tournament?
all things I speak is through the voice of the great Keith Jackson. He says, my advice, my wife, same thing, dictation lessons. I had it also. I'm not hating.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Last question on Love Gurus podcast. We're doing lightning round.
Last question. Wife is on the phone with her brother at 2:30 a.m. My wife and I are both 32 and have been having issues, and as of late, best summarized as mutual discontentment. Sometimes so much so that we sleep in separate rooms. Tonight was one of those nights where I was sleeping in the guest room, and I woke up thirsty at 2:30 a.m.
So was your wife.
I went to go to the kitchen, and I heard voices from the bedroom. I stood for the door by the minute because I was obviously suspicious. Again, it's 2:30. After hearing the voices for a few minutes, I then knocked on the door, and my wife opened it, and I said, "Hey, are you good?" And she goes, "Yeah, I was just on TikTok." He goes, "Well, I heard voices like it was talking." And she goes, "Oh, yeah, I was talking to my brother." And I was like, "You're talking to your brother and on TikTok?" She said, "Yeah." Got very defensive, and then just said, "I'm going to sleep," and shut the door.
Oh, man. Well,
so
I mean, I don't think there's any saving this. I mean, they're already sleeping in separate rooms. Why would
basically
you
hiding?
Yeah, it's yeah. So again, I mean, you basically said, but what I think is, listen, here's to me, here's why the relationship is really over. If you cared about your relationship at all, you'd have a fucking better excuse than I'm talking to my brother, I'm watching TikTok. If you were doing something suspicious and you wanted to save your relationship, you would have that alibi solid. You know, you would have your friend on Melissa, your friend Melissa on the speakerphone, like ready to like vouch for you. Yeah. It's like, but she clearly just doesn't care about this relationship. She's like, I was on TikTok. Okay, it was my brother. Yeah. Okay, Whoopi Goldberg is talking to me through Demi Moore's body. Like, whatever. Yeah. Like, what are you talking about?
Dude,
like, she just doesn't care about this relationship at all.
She doesn't. And as somebody who cares a lot about this, my marriage, when I cheat, my alibis are fucking watertight. You know what I mean? I'm like the
guy. You're not talking to your brother?
Dude, I am like the lawyer in Sleepers with Kevin Bacon. I am fucking airtight. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's Anyway, so that's my final. What's your guys' final advice for this person?
Just what are you clinging to? I don't know. you can't just lying to each other, sleeping in separate rooms. I mean, just make it official. Break up and get a divorce.
Yeah, it's I don't like. I've never looked up the definition for hope, but I'm pretty sure there is none. Like, not to get all like journalistic integrity on your asses, but Webster's does not define this relationship as any sort of hope.
I looked up hope in the dictionary just now while the camera was off me. It was just a picture of these two with a line through it, man.
Natan, any final advice for these people?
You should already live in that apartment as if you're single. So you should just start doing parties and shit like that. And just invite all your friends. And
Just go to like Home Depot and get like those big slabs of plywood and like board off her bedroom.
Right. I was also talking to my brother tonight because he's staying on the couch. That's right. He's sleeping on the futon.
We're watching TikTok together.
Yeah.
We're gonna play Zelda until fucking dawn.
Yeah. Jake, any other final advice?
So it's so funny because when I read the title to the question, and when I read "wife on phone with brother at 2:30," I'm thinking, she's talking to his brother and cheating on him with his brother. Yeah. It's like, dude, this is so not the problem here. Even if it was, I was talking to a brother, I'm cheating on my husband with a black guy. Like it's just something. Anything could be worse than what the fuck, her own brother. Who gives a fuck? That's who you talk to when your relationship's going down the tubes. So the fact that she's talking to a family member or lying and talking, like that's the least bad part of that entire fucking story.
Right.
Was who she was on the phone with. Yeah. The fact that you're sleeping in separate rooms. I like when people ask a question and then the real problem is not what they're asking about.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
This is a very good example of that. That happens a lot. Yeah.
The fact that she's talking to her brother is the least bad that question ended up being.
That's so funny.
And that aspect of it is so not. You have a guy who lit your house on fire, and you're mad he didn't wipe his feet on the rug. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what's going on here. Yeah. So what I think you should do is just again, I'm gonna Joe Tacopina this one. I don't like you, but I'm gonna be your lawyer on this. Call her brother up and ask what they were talking about. If he just sits there and goes, the fuck you talking about, dude? If he just seems confused about the whole situation, she's talking to somebody else.
The brother's probably not going to be a good liar.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and the thing is, it's one thing to be a good liar or a bad liar. If you're just getting, if they're just asking you a question that you literally don't know what the fuck they're talking about, you don't even know to lie yet.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't. If she's really smart, like if I was Joe Tacopina-ing her, I would just be like, listen, you need to. If that's the excuse you gave, you need to call your brother up and say, listen, I'm cheating on Randy because he's a dick, but I need you to help me because you're my brother and you're not a dick. So if Randy comes up and asks you about this, we were talking 2:30. She didn't do that. She's dumb enough to marry you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she didn't do that. So what you need to do is call the brother up. He's not going to know to lie about this, so he's just going to be genuinely confused about the whole situation. Yeah. And then you burst through the door going, well, you cheated on me. I'm going to play Zelda in Jamaica without you, And then you take 10 grand of your money and you fucking split before she files papers because she's going to do it.
But that's kind of like a cute way to heal yourself, isn't it?
It
After
is.
a divorce.
Yeah. That's right.
Zelda in Jamaica.
Take a Nintendo 64 to Jamaica, and that's how you get your groove back, sir. You're a Zelda player. You suck.
That's funny what you said about the problem in the question, that he basically was like, we sleep in separate beds. We haven't had sex in 5 years. She calls me a lazy slob. By the way, I kind of caught her talking to some guy.
Yeah.
What's up with this?
Yeah. It's like my wife won't make eye contact anymore, but she yelled at me for broccoli. Should I stop eating broccoli?
Right.
Maybe what about the eye contact thing? We don't want to talk about that? Yeah. I mean, questions is hard. When you're realize your marriage is over. Anyway, I think that's it. I think we answered that question. I think we answered all these questions. Super duper looper good.
Absolutely. Thank you so much to everybody in the chat. Thank you to Joel. Thank you to Matt. Thank you to producer Amy. Thank you most of all to our guests, man. Thank you to Natan Badalov.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you to Andrew Schiavone.
Thank you.
And until next week, like and subscribe. Watch live. Give us your comments. Give us your questions at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Until next time, later.
Nice.
We are still live streaming.